I bet you're anxious to get the high tunnel in full production this year.
I can't wait. Welcome back to the Wordberg family farm. We're Dawn and Brenda. And I am anxious to have this tunnel filled with tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and all kinds of flowers. But I have to start somewhere, so today I start seeding my tomatoes. All right, it's February 22nd, and I'm starting my tomato seeds for the season. It's a little early, but we have a high tunnel, so I can start them early and put them in the tunnel before the normal frost date. So I have 13 different varieties I'm going to plant. I'm excited. This time of year is always exciting for me. I have a bunch of cherry tomatoes, regular eating tomatoes, some purple ones, and then good old Amish paste for the sauce and stuff. First thing I have to do though is get my soil ready. And I make a mix. I actually use 1 block of this coconut coir from Burpee. They're just, I don't know, it adds to the soil, adds to the little bit of openness and airiness of it. And Home Depot runs them on sale a lot of times. You can get them for $7, which is like half price of anywhere else I've found. And I also found that using hot water to reconstitute them seems to go faster than if you use cold. So I always heat the water a little bit. And then you just pour it on the block, and it turns into soil.
That looks like fun.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
and then,
look at that breaking.
Once it's reconstituted.
Look at it. It's just expanding on its own.
It blows up. Once it's reconstituted, I'll be mixing it in with some other potting soil. And see, I split it up so it goes, it's gone. I mean, it's like, it fills up real fast with water.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
That looks like fun to me.
I guess it's fun. It's cool though. But I use this in place of peat moss. Apparently this is a lot more sustainable. Peat moss is not.
Well, is there any nutritional value in that?
No, no, it's just mainly to add some airiness to the soil.
But do you put soil with that?
Yes, I'm going to mix this in with my potting soil.
Okay.
I'm using regular plain old potting soil and some potting soil with mycorrhizae in it. I'm kind of doing a mix this year. Supposedly that really helps root development. I don't know. I'll experiment. But it just makes a nice little mix. And it's just a little bit of this thrown in with mostly the potting soil. Okay. Now time for potting soil.
So you got everything you need back there.
I do. So here's my big old bin of potting soil. And I'm going to dump this in and stir it all through there. And I did pre-moisten my potting soil, so it's kind of moist. This is really moist. This will add a lot more moisture to it. Just dump it in.
So is that vermiculite, all the light colored
That actually is perlite.
Perlite?
Yeah. They usually have perlite in potting soil.
Okay.
But now this is a little bit time consuming. Just get this all mixed up kind of evenly throughout. So this takes a little bit of muscle.
But this counts as playing in the dirt?
This is playing in the dirt, yes. Without a doubt.
So for February, this is as good as it gets.
Mm-hmm. And it really does seem to get the seeds off to a good start. I mean, this is the very beginning, and then they'll start in tiny little pots, go up to the next size pot, go up to the next size pot, and eventually end up in the garden. But this is their beginning house. So, get this all mixed up.
Let's see what it looks like.
Now I'm filling up my seed starting tray with the mixture. And I'm starting with these little tiny seed pots. I'm starting so many tomatoes, I don't want to waste a bunch of 6-packs if they're not going to germinate. So I germinate them in these, and as soon as they germinate and get half decent size, I put them in the other thing. So I put it in, push them down to make sure they're actually to the bottom of the thing, and then fill them up again. Make sure they're filled into the top. But it's nice, you can start 1,000,000 seeds in one tray. And you don't waste a lot of soil or space. I'm going to start with little sweeties, a little cherry tomato. Here's my high-tech seeding method to get one in each pot. I dump them into a paper that's been folded, and then very carefully just push one off into each pot. It's easier than trying to pick them up with my big fingers. So I get one seed in each little square.
That's pretty clever.
Uh-huh.
Now, did you think of that all yourself?
Yes, I did actually.
We'll have to file for a patent.
Yeah. Yeah. You're funny. The grandkids love cherry tomatoes, so I do quite a few of those. And they sell pretty well at the farm stand.
Now, you're just dropping them. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
push them in or cover
I'm going
them?
to just kind of pat them into the soil, and then I'm going to cover them
Let me
with.
see, what's it look like without the...
I don't know if you can see them. They're so tiny.
Oh, there,
right there's
I can
one.
see that one.
I'm going to
There's
cover
two
them.
right there.
No, there's one. The other thing is a vermiculite or perlite.
Okay.
I cover them with just a light coating of vermiculite, but I'll just kind of like press them into the soil. And make sure my finger doesn't pick it back up. And then I'll sprinkle perlite, vermiculite over the top. Okay.
Wait, which one?
Vermiculite.
Vermiculite.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so that's the sweetie. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the, let's see, what's next? Large red cherry and then super sweet. So, I mean, I'll be starting 36 cherry tomatoes. They aren't all going to germinate, and I probably won't plant them all. If I have extras, I give them away. So I'd rather have plenty started than not enough. So we'll see how they do. But let's see, what was next?
And
Large red cherry.
where did you get your seeds this year?
Various places. I like MI Gardener. They're wonderful, and their seed prices are amazing. But they're limited quantity, more than they used to. But I also get some then from Johnny's.
Okay.
And I even get some from Baker's Creek, kind of wherever I can find them.
You spread them around so you get more catalogs in the mail in the
Yeah.
winter. When you're bored, you
He
love
knows when
your
I get
catalogs.
when I get my catalogs in the mail, I just love sitting looking through them, and you know. Now it's hard this time of year because I already have all the seeds bought that I need, and then a catalog comes. And it's like, don't look, don't, because I know I'm going to find something I want to buy, you know. But I don't need any more seeds this
Yeah,
year.
that's what they're counting on.
I know. Yeah, and I'm a sucker for seeds. Any gardener is, I think.
I think some of our viewers might be using this method. I know
Yeah.
if I were just learning, that's
Well, I'm just not,
pretty
I don't know,
clever.
to pick them up with your big wet, usually your fingers are damp from working with the soil. To try to pick them up with your fingers is just torture.
Yeah.
So this just makes it nice and convenient. Now I'm going to fill most of this tray with tomatoes. And I'm actually, probably whatever spaces I have left, I'm just going to fill with marigolds. I grow a ton of marigolds all over the garden. They're supposed to keep pests away, and they just look so pretty.
Okay. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I noticed you have some other stuff growing here that I didn't see before.
Yeah, I do.
Well, what's this?
That is broccoli.
Oh, nice.
I have broccoli and some, well, up here is cauliflower and cabbage. Not as many of those. More broccoli. Our grandkids love broccoli, so I grow a lot of that.
All the way down at the end, too? Is that right?
These are zinnias.
Ah, okay.
I started a few of those really, really early. If I can get them in the tunnel early, I'll have some cut flowers. A
And
fairly
then up
decent
top,
time.
Are they zinnias, too?
Up top are my little snapdragons.
Oh, why didn't I think of
Remember, I planted them just a ton in one pot, and then I separated the tiny little seedlings
that? Oh, yeah.
and put them each in their individual pot, and they are growing like crazy.
Huh.
And pretty soon, when they get another set of leaves, I'll be chopping the tops off so they branch out.
Okay.
But snapdragons are just beautiful, and they look great in cut flower arrangements.
Yeah.
So things are growing nice so far. Hope it keeps going that way.
Yeah.
Next, we have super sweet.
And, of course, this is all your chicken feed, right?
That's the fodder for the chickens. I feed them a tray of fodder every morning.
And that goes, like, what, day one?
Well, this is day 5, actually.
Oh.
They're back in the laundry room soaking for 5
Okay.
days, 4
Okay.
days. And then day 5, day 6, day 7, and day 8.
Okay.
And they eat. I mean, they eat the grass part, what seeds didn't germinate, and all the roots. They
Yeah.
love every part of it. It just disappears.
Well, your chickens have it made.
My chickens are spoiled rotten.
Does that mean I'm spoiled rotten, too?
Oh yeah. But I do pamper my chickens. But they're giving us lots of eggs lately. Now that the days are getting longer, ooh, they've been putting out more eggs. That's exciting.
Wonder how they actually get these seeds.
Well, you have to dry them out. You can actually save, if you have heirloom plants, you can save the seeds.
Yeah.
I haven't started doing that yet. Maybe at some point I will. But seeds, if depending where you get them, they're not that much. And you get so many plants out of one packet.
Well, I think we all know that they come from there, but I wonder what the process that they actually use to
Well, at the end of the
dry
season.
'em.
Yeah.
And-
I don't know how, I think they just air dry them, most of the people.
Yeah.
I think they just let them air dry, and then you have to package them once they're completely dry. I bet you store them somewhere cold and dark.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I ever start doing that, I'm going to have to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Now I'll tear into the eating tomatoes.
But do you know the problem with that?
What?
If you did that for a long time, they'd stop sending you seed catalogs.
True.
And then what would you do in the winter on the snowy days?
I don't know. It might take a while to get off their lists.
Okay.
So I'm planting. Here's the kinds I'm planting. They're called Pink Kid. They're supposed to be a new hybrid beefsteak that's really disease resistant. Mountain Fresh, Cipolla's Pride, Celebrity Plus, and 2 purple tomatoes. I've planted Cherry Q Purple
Let me see
before,
that purple one.
but I want to try Paul Robeson.
Okay.
If you've never tried a Cherokee purple tomato, you have to try them. To us, they are the best tomato I've ever had in my life. So we
they're
grow
our
those
favorites.
every year. This is a new one, Boxcar Willie. Something about the description just made me think it would
Oh,
be
the name
really
is
good.
But we discovered from our farm stand that people like just traditional red, medium-sized tomatoes.
Yeah, it's hard getting people to try things. I did finally get people to try the Cherokee Purple, and as soon as they try them, they're hooked.
Yeah.
So it's hard getting them to venture past a red tomato.
And
But then once
also-
they do, they're happy.
The big monster tomatoes, they don't always buy them either.
No, just a nice medium size.
Yeah.
And I don't grow like the big honkin'
Yeah.
super beefsteak. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and they don't package well. I mean,
No.
you can't put it in the...
No. Well, you put it in a quart box and that's all it holds.
Yeah.
Well, I sell my tomatoes at the farm stand in an interesting way. I have them all laid out in trays, and they just fill their own quart box up with whatever they want.
People do
big
like to
tomatoes, cherry
select.
tomatoes. They make a whole mix of whatever they want.
Yeah.
So, but I also have Jetstar and Rutgers. I mean, they're kind of like traditional. I almost always do those, Jetstar and Rutgers.
Okay.
So those are my slicing tomatoes for the year.
Okay. So is it going to be a race to see when we have our first BLT sandwich?
Yes. Oh man, we live for that every year.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things in the world.
Yeah.
Now it'll be our own L lettuce and our own T tomato. We haven't raised pigs, so it
No.
wouldn't be our B yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever do pigs or not. We'll see. Maybe someday. Who knows? You never know with us. We could do anything. I'll start with Jetstar.
So the seeds all look the same? Or
Yeah,
could
pretty
you
much.
tell them apart?
Some are a little bigger. No, I would never be able to tell them apart. And they all kind of look the same.
Okay.
And tomatoes and peppers look real similar too. But all tomato seeds kind of look.
Achoo!
Yeah, go ahead. Please don't do that. All right, well, I'll work on this in a while. You come back whenever I get more of them in there.
Okie doke.
I'll show you how I put the vermiculite over the top.
All right.
I have all the tomatoes in. And I actually did 3 rows of peppers. I seeded peppers 2 weeks ago, and 3 of them didn't come up, 3 of the types of peppers. So I'm giving them another shot. So it's 3 rows of peppers, and I'll just fill the rest up in marigolds. And the little paper trick doesn't work with marigold seeds. Those you kind of have to just pick up and put in one at a
Wait a
time.
minute. Let me look at these, how small these are.
It's a marigold seed.
Wow.
Yeah. They're the yellow. I like the yellow for some reason better than the orange. So I will have yellow marigolds all over the tunnel, all over the garden. Maybe even some around the chicken yard.
I know your family and your aunt, your mom,
Yeah, my aunt.
particularly your aunt, had
Yep, Aunt Jerry.
tons of marigolds.
She did gardening all her life, and there was always marigolds.
Yeah.
Supposedly kept the rabbits out, although I've seen rabbits eating marigolds.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it is supposed to help keep some pests away in the air, and even some of the ground nematodes and pests, whatever, marigold emits something. I don't know. It's supposed to be good for the garden, and they're pretty. So I have everything planted. Now all I do is sprinkle a little light coat of vermiculite over the top.
Let's look at this up close here.
It's got some stuff in it that fell in. It was in the tunnel.
Okay.
So I just put a nice, decent coating. It does a couple of things. Number one, it covers them so they'll germinate. Keeps the moisture in. It keeps fungus gnats from laying eggs. You don't get fungus gnats when you use vermiculite. It keeps, I don't know, it just does all kinds of good stuff. And things seem to really germinate well with it in this one. But just get it evenly put on there.
So where do you get your vermiculite?
I don't know. I got that like 3 years ago. I got a jumbo bag. So I've had vermiculite every year. But it's good for the soil too. Adds a little bit more aeration. Kind of like perlite, but a little bit different.
So I'm sure everybody has their own style and techniques for
Yep.
seeding, huh?
Everybody does things different. This is just how I like to do it. Get these big hunks of stuff out of here that got in my vermiculite. How dare it. Now what I'll do is I'll spray these down real good with water. And I'm also going to put some water in the tray underneath it.
What are these white things with a scribble on them?
That's my tags telling me what's in there with my nice, neat handwriting.
Those are letters?
Yep.
And
I
words?
can read them. That's what counts.
Okay.
I am known for my horrible, horrible handwriting.
That's all right.
But as long as I can read it, that's all that counts, you know?
Yeah.
I'll know what they are. But there is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right there is 200 plants. Voila. It makes me a while ago thinking about the tomatoes. Like right there, those tomatoes are going to fill up 2 to 3 rows in my tunnel, my 100-foot tunnel. So I was like, that little spot right there is going to give us tons and tons of tomatoes.
Not only feed the family, but you'll be selling a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah, and we'll be eating some. I'll be making tomato sauce, tomato paste, barbecue sauce. I make everything you can possibly make. Those seeds I planted, this is them 4 weeks later. How about that? Is that cool or what? They germinated pretty quickly, and I potted them up into the 6-pack containers, and they're doing very well. They look beautiful, green, healthy, and probably in another week or two, they'll be going into this size pot. And then the next step would be out to the garden, to the tunnel. So this gets me excited, and it gets me dreaming about all the tomatoes I'm gonna have this year and what I'm gonna do with them. So, isn't it exciting? Thanks for joining me as I started 2024 tomatoes. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.